Welcome to Elevate with Exedra, the podcast where we explore how design and Feng Shui can elevate your space and your life. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome someone who has shaped my own journey as a Feng Shui practitioner. Kimberley from the Feng Shui Flow. I trained through her practitioner's course, and it's been such a foundational part of my own work. Kimberley has created an incredible community. So much love, Kimberley, and she has built an app even that makes Feng Shui so accessible. And she's about to release her new book, Calm and Happy Home. She also spoke at Manifest UK about something that really resonated with me, the idea that our homes are often the missing puzzle in manifestation. And that's what we are diving in today. How your home can support your manifestations and the practical steps you can take to align your space with the life you're calling in. Kimberley, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. It's so lovely to be here and so amazing to be part of your journey and to see where your journey's going. It's beautiful. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Kimberley. Have I missed anything? Would you like to add anything to this introduction? I'm sure there are a lot of things.
Possibly world-renowned Feng Shui expert, all of those. I don't know. I get this imposter syndrome sometimes and you're like, oh no, I don't want to speak about it. But I think my biggest role in life is, and the reason why is the title of my book, is to help people have a calm and happy home. And I just want as many people around the world to realise that with just a few tweaks in their home, they can literally change their life.
Yes. And you are doing an absolutely wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
You are such an inspiration, honestly, and I'm still learning every day from you. So thank you for your amazing work, and I can't wait for your book.
Thank you.
So can you share, for people who might not have heard about your work, can you share a little bit about your journey into Feng Shui?
Yeah, of course. I did not come from a spiritual Feng Shui background growing up. And I think it's really important to say that because I think people presume that I was maybe surrounded by these principles my whole life, and I really wasn't. I have had an eclectic career. I've worked in human resources for an investment bank, and then I decided that working with people was quite tricky. So I retrained and did a degree in equine science, which is like horse biology, if you like. And then I decided to teach that. So I was a teacher for 10 years and I absolutely loved it. I taught 16 to 18-year-olds, which was probably more, they educated me more than I did them. And I loved it. And this was in the UK. And unfortunately, in lockdown, I was made redundant. And I sort of hit that crossroads of going, well, what do I do now? Because the college that I taught at is obviously a very niche thing that I was teaching. The nearest one was an hour and a half drive away. And I was the parent that looked after our daughter. Like my husband went out to work every day. So I had to be around for school drop off, pick up, all the sports and all of the, fun stuff and shenanigans that goes with that. So I had to really think about what career I wanted. And this was right at the beginning of lockdown. And so my options were immediately limited because, the world shut down. And so I started a wellness business, like selling products online, which I really resonated with. And I thought that it would be quite easy, and it wasn't. And this is when manifestations really started to come into my world, when I started to take control over the information that I was receiving in lockdown, because the constant thread of news was just too much for me. For my mental health, it was far too much. So I decided I was going to listen to podcasts and really sort of change the energy around me and be uplifted. And I just so happened to stumble across a podcast with a Feng Shui consultant talking to the host of this podcast. And she said that the host was looking for a partner. And she said, you can attract a partner into your life by changing some things around your home. What a load of rubbish. How is that even possible to move some stuff around your home and you're going to meet your partner or whatever? And, I was listening to it as I was cleaning the house and I was just letting it go. And then 2 weeks later, the host came on and she said, I've met someone. Like, I've literally changed these things in my home and I've met someone. And then that's when it clicked. And I thought, okay, maybe there's something in this. And I was doing all that I could still to get this wellness business off the ground. I was writing everything on Post-it notes, like all of the manifestation stuff that, like surround yourself with, I'm going to make this much money a year and I'm going to travel here. And I had all these Post-it notes on my bathroom mirror and I was burning, figures on full moon or burying affirmations in the garden, like all of the crazy stuff. And my husband was just like rolling his eyes going, what on earth is she doing now? And so I heard that the host met somebody and I thought, right, I'm going to look more into this because I almost wanted to prove it wrong, that how, this isn't possible. And then the more Googling I did, the more I realized that many of the most successful people around the world practiced some form of Feng Shui in their life. They might not have gone all in, but they took some of these principles. And I'm talking like Richard Branson, the Beckhams, Madonna, Gwyneth Paltrow, like all of these people who, let's face it, whether you like them or not, pretty successful people. And Richard Branson talks about how he just had elements in his home, elements in the office, because he wanted people to feel relaxed in the office. And the more relaxed and calm and motivated people are in the office, the more successful his business would be. In the hotels, if you practice Feng Shui principles in hotels, people are going to be more relaxed. They're going to want to come back. They'll probably spend more money. And then I went deeper and it was a lot of shopping centres, a lot of hotels. So if you think of your local shopping centre or a hotel, most of them have water fountains. And in Feng Shui, a water fountain represents wealth, prosperity, and abundance. So there's all these sprinkles of Feng Shui around that I just feel has been lost in translation between the Eastern and the Western world. Like it's just not something that we look at. And then I got cross because I thought, well, why do all of these people know about Feng Shui? And here I am at home with my daughter and my dog. My husband's going to work in lockdown and I'm doing my best to try and sort of keep the calm and sort of happiness in the home. And so I contacted the lady to Feng Shui my home. And as I said, my manifestations were very much about my previous business. And when you work with Feng Shui, it's about using the elements in your home. It's like acupuncture for the home. So you're releasing energy blocks, you're absorbing negative energy, and you're letting this lovely circulation of energy flow through your home, just like in your body. And when you add these elements to your home to balance the energy, you also are using your energy. So Feng Shui is like this, like the missing piece of the manifestation puzzle, because you are using your energy and the energy of your home to attract all of the wonderful stuff that you want in your life. So when I put the remedies and elements into my home, I loosened off my manifestation a little bit. And rather than saying in my business, I want to have, I thought, do you know what? I just want any business where I can work anywhere around the world, because I knew that we were coming to Australia, that I could be financially independent. Not only that I could sell the shit by myself if we wanted to, that I worked with beautiful souls around the world, that I could help people. That was still in me from like being the teacher. I wanted to do that. And that was it. I just sort of put that in. And then a month later, I had an email from the lady who Feng Shuied my home to say she's running her last ever certification course. Would I be interested in doing it? And up until that point, I had absolutely no intention of ever practicing Feng Shui in my life. But I just got this guttural feeling, this deep inside my gut, that I knew it was the right thing to do. And it wasn't an easy decision. It was 10,000 American dollars. I definitely wasn't earning that because I'd been made redundant. My business wasn't, going anywhere. But as you can probably tell, it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And within 3 months, I was on This Morning in the UK. We've now moved to Australia. I am now the Feng Shui expert on the morning show over here. I've got a book coming out and I've literally helped thousands of women around the world, from Bermuda to New Zealand to Australia to Ireland, to bring calm and happiness and also just a little bit of magic into people's homes.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. As I said, it's very inspiring. And when you mentioned places like hotels or luxury homes implementing Feng Shui, that's where I'm at. Like, because we design homes and So many interior designers, and I used to be like that, we were focusing on the aesthetics primarily. And it's, of course, important to make the space look beautiful, but it's also about how it feels. And then when you add another layer, that it is very connected to your intentions and the life that you want to invite in, that's when it becomes really powerful, I think. And the more people know about how to organize or arrange or decorate their homes and what to place into their homes to support their intentions, the better. But a lot of people somehow overlook their homes when they are thinking about manifestation. And why do you think that is? Is it because they are just not aware of the power of their homes, or is there anything else?
I think you've hit it spot on there. I think we forget that our home has an energy. And if you think about your home now, your space, whether it's a studio apartment or whether it's, a huge home, it will have an energy. So if I said to you, if your home had a personality, how would you describe it? Would it be light-hearted and fun and warm, or would it be maybe cold, a little bit stubborn, no sense of humor whatsoever, like stuck in its ways? And I think when you start thinking about your home's personality, you can quickly work out whether you think it's going to be helping you or not. And we know in terms of people that if we surround ourselves, people say you are the product of the people that you surround yourself with, like the closest sort of 5 or 6 people, you will pick up on that energy. And if you want to elevate yourself, then you will maybe change some of those people that you hang around with, like your mentor, for example, you might bring in, and then that helps sort of level you up. And so if your home isn't full of good energy, then that is like an extra person around you that is bringing your energy down, like a negative person that's hanging around you. And so what can happen is that your home may have this like heavy, sort of thick energy. And when we link it to manifestation, the way I explain it is it's like having your phone and trying to make a call in the middle of a really dense woods or bush, as you call it over here in Australia, like trying to make a call out. Phone reception can't physically get out to the satellite and back again. And it's the same in your home. If it's got this heavy, thick cloud, then your manifestations simply aren't getting out there into the universe and back again. But if you were just thinking about the design of a home, not necessarily your manifestations, it's about how the energy flows around your home. And energy wants to flow. It's always moving. It has a vibration. It wants to move. If your home has sharp edges, if there's lots of clutter, the energy picks up on this. So the energy wants to flow. The more stuff that's in the way, the harder it is for that energy to flow around. The harsher the furniture, then that sort of the energy picks up this sharp energy and can sometimes make people feel more on edge. Like if you look at these chairs, these are beautiful because they're soft, they're round. You can't help but sit back and relax. And therefore, my energy is much more relaxed. Whereas if we had some metal chairs that were really sharp, we'd both be sat, upright and not relaxed in our demeanor. And so I think the difference is in furniture, you can see it, but in terms of energy, you can't. And if I could say to you, right, well, see that red energy in the corner over there, that's the bad stuff. That's the stuff we want to get rid of. It would be much easier. But we want a flow of energy, because stuck energy is when you feel that your life is just going round in circles. The same stuff keeps happening, whether that's illness. So you might have illness that just keeps going around. Or you might find that there's arguments because when the energy is stuck, it's like this sponge of negativity and it just literally keeps absorbing this argumentative energy, and it creates that, and you've got to release it, and almost thinking like out with the old and in with the new, and just really replenishing this energy in your home.
So you want the energy to move as freely as possible. Otherwise, your home might actually holding you back. So you might be doing all the good things in relation to manifestation. So you have a vision board, you're journaling, you have the right thoughts, but your home might be holding you back if the energy is not flowing as it should. But if people decide, okay, now I'm ready to change my home, to improve the energy, I often start with the bedroom when I talk with people, and that's one of the rooms I like to start just because it is so important for rest and renewal and for your personal health. And would that be a good room to start in relation to manifestation, or any room or the area of the home? We can talk about the areas of the home because certain part of your home is responsible or looking after your manifestations.
Totally. So in Feng Shui, we divide the home into 9 different areas, and each of these areas represents an area of your life. So this is why it's linked so much to our life, because you may have, for example, in the Southeast, this looks after wealth, prosperity, and abundance. That might be your dumping room. And so if you feel that your wealth isn't working for you, whether it's hard to earn money or you're earning it and it literally flies out the door, as quickly as you can earn it, and you realize that the southeast of your home is, your dumping area or your laundry away. Personally, I hate putting laundry away. I don't know. It's just one of my, things that
Don't mention it.
we all have those areas of the home. So it's about realizing that each of these areas has a responsibility on our life. And so I think it actually makes it easier to look after it. But if you're wanting to start in Feng Shui, I think the easiest place is the center. And it's literally getting your floor plan, measuring it across the width and the depth, and then finding that center point. And then that's where you're looking for. And it's not this teeny tiny little pot, like it might be an arm span or 2 arm spans maybe. So it's not just this little area. And this looks after your health. So it's your physical health, it's your mental health, it's your self-acceptance, but also it's the heart of the home. It's the beating heart of the home. So whatever is happening there will filter out to all of these areas. So yes, the bedroom is for rest and relaxation and romance.
It just depends what kind of energy or what area of your life you would like to improve. And then you can focus on that area. And what can you use to energize that area? We could introduce plants, for example, make sure it's clutter-free. What are some practical tips people can do? For example, somebody would like to manifest wealth. And not so long ago, one of my clients, I did a Feng Shui analysis for her. And all throughout the process, she was manifesting wealth. She really wanted to attract more money in her life. And about a month after her analysis, she had happy news to share that she has unexpectedly received a larger amount of money. I was so happy. I was so thrilled because it's just, whether you believe it or not, there is something to it. And of course, both of us, we strongly believe that the things she had done and introduced into her home helped. If somebody it's ideal if you do a Feng Shui analysis and you place all the remedies in your home, and that's when you have the best chances of improving the energy flow in your life. But if somebody is at the point, okay, I can look into 9 areas of my home and I really want to invite some wealth into my life, what can they do with their southeast corner of their home?
Totally. So I think it's a really good point there. Like, some people might not believe, some people might believe. I think what I tend to say to people is like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you put something in and it doesn't work, fine, you've tried it. Like, nothing awful is going to happen. So let's talk about wealth. And wealth means something completely different to everybody. But the southeast of your home looks after your wealth. But I'm also going to touch on another area as well. So first of all, we want to make sure it's decluttered because we want the energy to be moving around. So no matter where it is in your home, go into this area every day, like wake it up, like energize this area of your home, especially if it's like a spare room and normally the door's closed on it. This energy is going to be very, very still. So if you feel that your finances are still, then it might be that that area needs more activation. So go in there, treat it like you're trying to wake up like a grumpy teenager. Go in, you can clap your hands if you want, you say good morning, whatever it is. Walk in, open the curtains, open the window, let the air circulate around it. Then also check for things that are broken or anything that's cracked, because this broken energy, this broken items can make the energy almost feel like it's tripping up a little bit. We want energy to flow. So if you think the energy is going straight and then there's something that's broken, the energy goes straight and then it's like junted a little bit. And again, that's what might be happening to your finance. So it's like good flow, good flow, good flow. Oh, there's another expense. And then off we go again. So we want this lovely flow around. And then I love a visual affirmation. To me, I'm a very visual person. Writing my affirmations down doesn't do anything for me. It's a bit like at school when you had to, just copy the paragraph from the book into your notes. Like it didn't go in. So I'm very much a visual person. And I call it like a visual affirmation, which is basically a picture or a painting, for example, and put items in your southeast that represent wealth to you. So for me, going on holiday with my family is the ultimate wealth result because first of all, I've got time to go away and I've got the resources to go away as well. So all of our lovely holiday pictures are in the southeast of our home. And I love a verbal affirmation for me, saying it out loud. Sometimes I get a bit stuck and people give you these massive sentences to say and I'm like, oh, I'm tripping over them. I love the affirmation, show me how I can get more of this. Show me how I can get more holidays into my life. Because I think when you take away the specifics, and I think this is where everything changed for me when I was like, I must earn this much money and I must sell this many products, to then saying, you know what, I just want any business where this is how I want to feel. Like, show me how I can go on holiday more because you never know where it comes from. I've had a client win a home before. This is mad magic stuff can happen.
Yeah.
That is probably the most extreme of magic and madness. I'm just saying you never know where you could win a holiday. Somebody might say, I've been offered a free holiday. Would you like to come with me? Or somebody's dropped out. Would you like to come with me? You just never know where it comes from. And I think that verbal affirmation, like show me, or it instantly makes you smile because you're like, okay, show me, like almost a bit sarcastic. And I think that in your southeast area of your home, lighten up yourself, lighten up your energy, because the lighter your energy, you are going to be attracting that level back into your life. If you wake up a 3 out of 10, or you run your day a 3 out of 10 of anger, of tiredness, of jealousy, of all of these things, you're just going to attract more of it back. So the higher your energy, the more likely you are to attract those things at a higher energy back again.
Absolutely. And that's how I understand it as well. If the energy in your home is good, positive, you are going to feel better.
Yeah.
And the better you feel, then with all your intentions and everything else you're doing, you're increasing your chances of inviting what you want to invite.
Your energy, your home's energy, your energy, your home's energy. And if you can keep them both amazing, then that's where, like, when you come back to the bedrooms, you should feel restored when you go home. It should feel like your sanctuary where you go home, you feel comfortable there, you're not wanting to go away all the time, or wanting to, when some people say, I've just got to get out of the house. Like, I need some fresh air, or I need to get out. Don't get me wrong. You've obviously got to go out and see people, but you should also feel comfortable to be able to spend a whole day in your home. And if you can't, then maybe it's the energy that is then conflicting with your energy and you're feeling it. But we just have lost that link that we can do something about the energy in the home.
It's about being mindful and noticing things around you and looking around you in your home and what's there to support you. It might be draining your energy, and just being mindful. And even when whatever you're bringing into your home should have some meaning, positive meaning behind it. So to be there to support you in one way or another, and to bring positive emotions. To do that, we really just need to start paying attention what we are surrounding ourselves with on a daily basis in our
because
homes.
You see it every single day and you go, oh, well, there's the picture on the wall, or there's, these photos. But when you go back and go, okay, I'm looking at the picture, what does that mean to me? And as long as everything brings you joy and happiness in your home, not everything's going to bring you joy and happiness. We have to have stuff in there. But say, for example, you were gifted something and you don't actually like it, but you feel compelled to keep it because somebody gifted it to you. You don't have to keep it in your home. Like, take this as your permission that you don't have to have it. And it's like having pictures of friends, or probably family members, I guess, that you don't particularly like. don't have them in your home. If you have to, keep the peace within your family, have the photo, but just sort of don't look at it every day. Because if in your living room, you've got a family photo of somebody that you don't like and you're sat there and this person's looking at you, it's going to be impacting your energy. So just be really selfish. And it's fine to be selfish because let's face it, we spend the most money on our homes, whether we are renting or whether we've bought. It's the most expensive thing. So you deserve to be surrounded by happy things around you and not having somebody looking at you in a picture that you don't actually like.
I had a bit of a problem with my homes before. We sold our first home. I just didn't feel right in it. And at the time, I couldn't really explain why. I was changing furniture and changing decor and everything. Then when we moved into our second home, at that point, I was studying interior design and I was on a mission to make it really beautiful. And I believe I've managed to do that, but I still kept changing things around to the point that whenever my parents or my friends, they would come to visit, like they were looking around to see what's new. And then I kind of discovered Feng Shui. Not discovered, I was familiar with it all my life, but it just sounded really complicated.
Yeah.
And I knew little snippets of it. And then I attended one of your workshops and I learned about the course you were offering and your approach to Feng Shui to make it quite modern and simple enough for everybody to understand and use and start implementing into their homes. I was really attracted to that. And then when I became more mindful of my home and the environment and what I have in it, when I implemented the remedies, I just started feeling so much better. And I stopped changing. I changed what was needed to be changed, but I just feel much calmer, much happier, and not just me, everybody in my household. And I have 2 little ones, and there's a lot going on. We all live busy lives. We have jobs, everything. But we just felt a shift of energy. And that's when I started learning more and more about Feng Shui. And I think it's so complex in a way, and you can go really deep and you can learn about it all your life. But there are some really simple things everybody can do in their home to start feeling better. And that's why I'm also excited about your coming book, and congratulations again. It is called Calm and Happy Home. And can you tell us a little bit more what has inspired you to start writing a book?
Oh, it was just my dream. I knew right from the beginning, like 2.5 years ago, that a book was something that I really wanted to write because I wanted Feng Shui to be accessible. I didn't want it to be overly complicated. I remember reading about it when I first got introduced to it, and I didn't understand the book. I also understood that my home was probably like the worst Feng Shui that you could ever come across, and therefore I was going to be doomed forever. And so I wanted a book that would make sense to most people around the world living in a modern home. And it had to be accessible. So for the price of a book, you would be able to make changes in your home that could potentially change your life. And I wanted something in there for absolutely everybody. So it does start off as a explanation as to what Feng Shui is, the energy that we're surrounded by at the minute, because in Feng Shui, we believe in energy cycles like everybody does. So the daily cycle, we know that, the seasonal cycles. And then Feng Shui likes to be overcomplicated and throws in 2 more types of cycles. So we have annual cycles, so the year of the wood snake at the moment. Then we have these 20-year cycles, and that's when these huge shifts of energy come in. And the last one started in February 2024. And so we're in this period at the minute where lots and lots of change is happening.
The energy is a little bit funny.
It is, and it's powered by the fire element. So the fire element, it can be a beautiful element, but fire is always burning. So it means that life is always happening. So if you think back to February 2024, my guess is that a lot has happened since that, because this energy is constantly going. It came from, before that, the element of earth, and we were in the earth element for 20 years. So if you think of sand and crystals, it's very, very calming. All of a sudden we've lit this match and boom, we're in this fire energy. So I start off by explaining the energy that we're surrounded by at the minute, because I think it hopefully explains to people what is out there. And I think if you work with the energy, you are more likely to feel more comfortable and know what's coming, and you can plan yourself around the energy. I know that sounds a bit crazy to say, but there's some amazing potential parts of this energy at the moment. Whereas if you don't know what's going on, you're probably thinking, well, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel burnt out? Or why do I all of a sudden feel that I need a change in my career, for example? And this is this energy that we're surrounded by. So I explain that. And then I go into the house a little bit deeper. So we'll talk about the 9 areas. And it has tips in there for whether you feel, love and romance, children's bedrooms, how to get a new job, how to sell your home, what to do at Christmas, your workspace, how to plan that better, your living room, your kitchen, your dining room. And I want it to be this book that you can pick up. My dream is that people think that they pick this up and go, why didn't I know about this before? This holds like all the secrets to unlocking all of the calm and happiness in my life. I want it to be a giftable book as well that you can give to people who, for example, might be struggling in work, and you go, do you know what? Read this chapter, because there's going to be something that you can pick up on there. So you don't have to read the whole thing if you don't want to. You can literally flick to that section and go, okay, I want to sell the home, or I want to get a new job. And again, for the price of the book, you may have an amazing change of career. And that for me was just making it accessible to everybody and not necessarily having to work specifically with a Feng Shui consultant. It may be that you have to, because some homes have an energy that takes the big guns to come in to move it, whereas some homes actually the energy is okay, and just with these little tweaks it can change everything. So the book is full of these little tweaks that you can make in your home that can really have a huge impact on your life.
Absolutely. And it must be so rewarding, like being a Feng Shui expert and sharing tips and tricks with people how to improve their homes, which will eventually lead to better lives and them feeling better. I find it very rewarding, and that's why I'm going deeper and deeper into Feng Shui. But you're already there spreading the message so widely, so you must be feeling great about it.
Oh, it feels amazing, but it's almost like a really selfish thing, because I love the feeling, so I want to do it more. It's like, it's amazing gift to give to people, and the emails that I receive from people literally on a daily basis, or messages from people on a daily basis to say, oh my gosh, Kimberley, I can't believe this has happened. I can't believe that my sister has finally got in touch, who we've not spoken to for 5 years, or my child is finally sleeping through the night. Like, this literally gives me goosebumps. Like, I'm constantly welling up. I'm too much of an empath, really, to be a proper Feng Shui expert, because I just get so emotionally involved in everybody's lives. But to hopefully be the answer to issues that are going on in people's homes, I honestly feel like I am just so grateful, because I honestly feel I've got the best job in the world.
And you have a wonderful community, online community as well. So much love.
Yes. I wanted this space to come together where we do, because Feng Shui can be quite overwhelming when you look at your whole home and you think, oh my goodness, where do I start? So each month we look at different areas of our lives. We start off with an intention setting call, a meditation, and I only started the app in the community in June, and it's slowly evolving actually into people just making time for themselves, because we don't make time for ourselves, especially when you're a mum and you've got a busy home and you're working as well. It's like give, give, give. Whereas this gives people an excuse to say, right, it was last night, for example, Wednesday night, I'm going to half an hour in the diary, and I'm going to stop, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to surround myself with beautiful things, beautiful energy. And, my vision for it is for these people to meet from all over the world, literally from all corners of the world, because sometimes life can feel quite lonely when you aren't surrounded by friends or family who may have the same view on life, for example. And the So Much Love community is just full of these beautiful women. And I say women, it's open to men too, but all of the members so far are women that are there to support each other, because, there's a saying, I don't know if it's an English saying, but it says like it takes a village to raise a child. And I think actually, no, it's not just stopping at children. Like, it takes a village for us all to get through life. And I feel that this is this lovely village of people that helps people to navigate their way through the ebbs and flows of life.
Absolutely. And making everything simple enough to implement, and having that community also helps for people, for example, who are into Feng Shui, but their family members are not necessarily.
Yes.
And I'm quite lucky because my husband is into Feng Shui as well. And when we moved to Australia some 17 years ago, and obviously you have 20 something kilos to bring, one of the things he packed was a Feng Shui book. Because he's an architect, so he's into design, but he was always open to ideas of energy and how to design spaces to support the right feelings. And it's really interesting that I found this book in a garage after so many years. And I was like, how come we have this book? So when he heard about my interest in Feng Shui, and he was very supportive. But for people whose family maybe is not as familiar or as supportive, but they really want to support their manifestations and their intentions, what is one simple thing they can do today to shift the energy in their homes to support them?
I think it's really important to say I Feng Shuied our whole home without telling my husband. He had no idea. I don't think you necessarily have to tell people because it's all in your thoughts. It's all of your own energy. Who's going to know if you go, right, there's a holiday picture. I'm just going to find the southeast of our home and I'm going to move the picture over there. It can be your little secret, but you are powerful. We are all so powerful. And I think when you start to get to know your home, you can start to work out its energy and just work out, is it helping you or is it not? And so you can literally go home today. If you listen to this on your drive, on your way back, whatever, walk into your home and reintroduce yourself to it. Have you said thank you to it for looking after you? And I know that sounds mad, but the amount of people that do it and they say that they got home, they introduced themselves to the home and they thanked it and they put their hand on the wall, they got really emotional. And it brings out this like, oh my gosh, how did I not realize that the home has got such a huge impact on me? Like, we've just moved home and our home it wasn't really lived in for about 3 years. Like, people stayed there, but they were trying to sell it at the same time. Nobody loved it for 3 years, basically. And so when we moved in, it felt so cold. It was literally like it had its hands on its hips going, I'm not used to people staying here for very long. I'm just going to make things a little bit difficult for you. So like when we moved in, like I dropped stuff, I smashed things, I kept injuring myself, I scratched myself, and I'm not that sort of clumsy person. And this is the energy in the home. And eventually it's become softer and softer and softer. It's a bit like somebody who's been burnt in a relationship before and then reintroducing them to the thought of meeting somebody else again. They're like, no, I've done that before. It's not going to work. I never want to meet anybody again. I'm quite happy by myself. And that's what these homes can be like. So like if your home, maybe the last people got divorced and they split up and then they moved away, or if you're renting and it's had this really high turnover of people in it as well, then your home's probably thinking, well, you're just going to leave again. So I'm not even going to invest myself into you. So my biggest tip is just start to get to know your home. Find these 9 areas, introduce yourself to it, say thank you to it, and work out whether you are grateful to your home. And remember that when you decided that space was for you, whether you're renting or purchasing, you would have made that decision on how that space felt. So you would have gone in, you already know the floor plan online. You're going, yeah, that works for us as a family or by myself. That works. And you've gone in and you've gone, yes, this feels right. Or you may have also turned down homes because it doesn't feel right. So you know that feeling. But what tends to happen is we move in, and then we start to just use the home as functional spaces. So the kitchen is where we cook, the living room is where we watch TV, the bedroom is where we sleep, rather than it having this lovely feeling. So can I relax here when I'm cooking dinner? Do I feel like I can have fun here, or is it just a space to store stuff? Like if there's a spare bedroom, is it just a storage room? Like treat it like it has its own personality, and I promise it will give you back.
Thank you, Kimberley, so much for joining me on this podcast, for your support as a teacher, for your lovely presence, and for sharing your wisdom and stories with us today. We will have to finish very shortly. Unfortunately, I feel like we could talk so much longer. There's so many things we could touch on. But I love how you reminded us that manifestation isn't just about how we think and feel. It's about the energy of the spaces we live in every single day. So for people listening who would love to know more about your work, where can they find you, or are there any final thoughts that you would like to share today?
Oh, it's been so lovely sat here chatting. And I think we could have just carried on for hours. So just honestly, thank you for the bottom of my heart for inviting me, but for trusting me with your Feng Shui journey as well. And I just want to share it with as many people around the world. So coming on this podcast is just, I'm so grateful. So thank you. And if people want to find me, I'm the Feng Shui Flow on Instagram, and my website and my book is called The Calm and Happy Home.
Thank you very much. And I will share all the links in the episode.
Amazing.
Thank you, Kimberley.
Thank you.
Thank you.